Today, we are diving into a really powerful new feature that's coming in Python 3.15. It's called Unpacking in Comprehensions, and it's part of what's known as PEP 798. Trust me, this is set to make a really common coding pattern so much simpler. Let's take a look at how this one small change can make a huge difference in your code.
So if you're a Python dev, you have absolutely been here before. You're trying to flatten a list of lists using a list comprehension, and you end up writing that nested for loop. I mean, it works, right? But doesn't it just feel a little clunky? A bit awkward to read? Well, it turns out there's a much better way on the horizon.
And this is where that elegant solution comes in. Let's break down how this new feature completely transforms that clunky, nested loop into something that's just clean, direct, and, well, beautiful.
Okay, and here it is. Check this out. On the left, you've got the old way, that nested loop, that reads for L in lists, then for X in L. Now look over to the right. The new way in Python 3.15 is just star L for L in lists. Yep, that's it. We're using the star operator to unpack each sublist directly. It's way shorter, it's more intuitive, and it perfectly says what we're trying to do, flatten the list. And get this new superpower isn't just for lists. The real beauty of this feature is just how consistent it is. The exact same elegant unpacking logic works across Python's other core data structures too.
So take sets, for example. If you want to merge a bunch of sets into one big set, the syntax is basically identical. You just use curly braces, set s for s in sets. This kind of consistency is honestly what makes Python such a joy to work with.
And you guessed it, the pattern continues for dictionaries. By using the double asterisk operator, you can unpack and merge dictionaries right inside a comprehension. Curly brace #2*, D for D in dictionaries, is about to become your new, super concise go-to for merging a list of dicts. And finally, this syntax even extends to generator comprehensions. By just using parentheses, you can create a generator, which is kind of like a lazy iterator, that spits out the unpacked items one by one. This is so powerful for handling huge datasets efficiently without having to load everything into memory all at once. So, beyond just tidying up our basic comprehensions, this new syntax is actually powerful enough to replace a really common tool from Python's own standard library. Let's look at how it gives us a much cleaner way to do something many of us have reached for time and time again.
And that tool is itertools.chain from iterable. You've probably used it. It's the classic workhorse for flattening iterables, especially when you're dealing with the output of something like a map function. It's super useful, for sure, but it does require an import, and it can make your code feel a little less direct.
Here's a textbook example. Let's say you're mapping a getParents function over a list of names. To get back a single flat list, you'd first have to import itertools. Then you'd have to wrap your map object in chain.from iterable, and then you'd have to convert the whole thing to a list. It's a bunch of different steps.
Now, just look at the after. The new syntax turns that entire multi-step process into a single, self-contained, and perfectly readable line. Square brackets, getParents.name for name and names. No imports, no wrapper functions, it's just a direct, clear expression of what you want to do.
And as one developer put it, this is just so much shorter and it doesn't even require an import. And this also opens up a world of opportunity for us. I think that really hits the nail on the head. It's not just about saving a few characters, it's about cutting down on complexity and the mental overhead of reading the code.
But okay, before we all get a little too excited and start planning to refactor all of our old projects, let's talk about some of the practical realities and, of course, the debate that always comes up with any new syntax. There are really two main things to keep in mind here. First, if you go and grab the latest alpha of Python 3.15 right this second, this isn't going to work yet. It actually throws a syntax error. Second, there's always the readability debate. Whenever a cool new shortcut gets added, some folks will argue that it makes the language harder for newcomers to understand.
But here's a fantastic counter-argument to that. The key to readability isn't about keeping a language frozen in time. It's about continuous learning. As the quote says, if you read the docs and stay updated, the unreadable Python code will suddenly become readable. Language evolves, and as developers, we get to evolve right along with it.
And that really leaves us with a final question to think about. This new feature is without a doubt more concise. But does concise syntax always lead to better, more readable code? It's kind of a core tension in language design, right? That balance between raw power and simple clarity. It's definitely something to chew on as we wait for the official release of Python 3.15.